Hi, this is Rich with your 2-minute drill. We're doing something a little bit different in this month, in that I'm going to be talking about the same topic that Rob talked about just above me. So the topic is selling by not selling. The story he told is absolutely true. I would kind of add to that story. Not only did it go on, but the energy was getting raised on both sides. Rob was trying, the CEO said no, and then Rob tried harder, and the CEO said no harder, and went back and forth, and then it closed down as Rob described it. So the reality is that stuff is real. We probably get the most questions about selling business, at least many of our questions, maybe it's not most, but many of our questions about selling business, closing deals, closing more business. It's on everybody's mind, especially in this economy. We know from your cards and letters that consultants lose sleep over worrying about how to sell. So it's the sell, sell, sell mentality. And as Rob has described to you, what we're suggesting is a little bit counterintuitive, that you actually sell in this business by not trying really hard to sell. Back in the 70s and 80s, one of the very first teachers of consultants was a guy named Howard Shenson. And this was pre-internet days, so it was all written materials. It was actually books and tapes. And Howard gave advice of how you could be in consulting. And basically it was good stuff. He was a pretty aggressive consultant himself and a pretty aggressive teacher. He basically said, you really can't show the client that you want the business very much. You have to act like you don't need the business. You need to be a little elusive, even a little bit haughty. He basically said, let them know what your capability is, and then it's up to them. Well, we don't agree with everything he has to say, but we do believe that the most effective selling comes from not forcing yourself on the client and selling. The reality is, it is hard to sell anybody something they don't want. And most especially senior executives. You're just not going to, it's a hard game, and it's not a very fun game either. So your job is not to overwhelm with sales techniques. Rob and I actually hate the 13-second elevator pitches to quickly say what your job is and what you do, what your value is. We think those are completely useless. The reality is they're going to buy you first. And if you try to sell you or your process or your product too hard, you will push them away. If you visited with us when we made our first sales call with a prospective client, you'd be probably shocked because it doesn't look like a sales call. We don't act like it's a sales call. We don't go in as if we're selling anything. We go in with no brochures, no pamphlets. We don't immediately start a breathless listing of what our value is. We simply show up. Usually it's from a referral to meet the person and for us to get to know each other. And Rob kind of implied this. So we'll have a first meeting where we listen to each other. We basically sound like and look like senior people sharing what they're doing. And we share what we're doing, and we ask what they're doing. We talk about problems. We talk about ways that we're addressing those problems, never positioning ourselves that what we would do for you is this. We simply talk like big guys having a conversation at the club. There'll be time enough later to focus on, can there be work for us and work that we can do. So we really work hard at listening, at really understanding, all the while trying to establish our own credibility that we're people that can be trusted and that you'd want to listen to. So it's again part of the story. It's a little bit difficult to do when you really need the business. But if you act like you really need the business and that you're in trouble and you show desperation, we guarantee you won't get it. We're not asking you to act haughtily the way Shenson would tell you to act, but we do think you need to act calmly and you need to let the business come to you. So we hope that these two pieces from Rob and I this month will help you be a little bit calmer as you approach the process of engaging prospective clients and talking to them about your work. This has been Rich with your 2-minute drill.